Okay.
And thank you for your support.
EA doing charity work? I hope that's not
Thousands of
just
us
to
at EA
tick a
and
box.
millions of you together doing immeasurable good because we love games. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for the incredible privilege of making games for all of you. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at Anthem.
Anthem. Yeah, okay. It's weird, I just read the hashtag as earplay for a moment. I was like, what? Earplay?
Left our world in chaos.
I don't actually know anything about Anthem, so this will be interesting. Halo meets Mass Effect.
The
meets not space.
Is all that remains.
Okay. This makes you think open world when I'm pretty sure it's just a shooter, but I mean the world's cool.
These walls can't protect us forever.
That looks like Titanfall. That looks like Far Cry. I'm sorry. Oh shush. That looks like, you know what I'm gonna say there. Superhero landing. Harsh on the knees.
Something is out there. It wants to destroy us all.
Why are they making more shooters? What was wrong with the last one? Oh, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it's Thor Ragnarok. I got it. Generic. I wasn't on the end note. Hold on. Generic. Really, it just looks like a mashup of Halo and Iron Man and Marvel, just all the Marvel stuff. If it was a crossover where it was actually Halo characters and maybe not Marvel characters, and let's not have Batman for Anthem. I know he's not Marvel, but still, that would be interesting. This just looks more, you're a gamer. You're like very promiscuous, not promiscuous. Subtilized laser beams and armor. You like flying things.
I know all of you, like me,
you
have
like
had
dying
tons
things.
of
You like
questions
giant
about Anthem
things.
since last year.
Seems a bit generic to
we're
me.
all BioWare fans.
On another note, though,
something a little bit different for the rest of the
Picky
show.
fan, thank you for another 5 bits.
Dive into Anthem. So I'm going to bring out some members of the BioWare team to chat
Every
with
time
us.
you get the same
Ladies
ad
and
from
gentlemen,
Call of
please give
Duty.
a warm welcome
I'm
to
sorry.
Casey Hudson, Mark Dara, and Kathleen Rutzart.
And Schnoodle, the ads are way better than EA games. I'm hearing that throughout this whole thing.
Thanks for coming out today.
Yeah.
Thank you for 5
show,
bits.
right?
I apologize for the delay. I keep
It's gonna be
leaning
very
around my mic to
exciting.
see
So
what the
Casey,
information
we're gonna go ahead
is.
and just jump right in and get started with you. So now we know that you all
Batman for
started,
Smash.
or Casey, you started your career at BioWare way back in the day, but you took a couple years off. But before you came back, you actually worked on Anthem before you left.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, first of all, it's amazing to be back. It's awesome to be making games for BioWare fans. You know, we have the best fans. So it's been super satisfying to come back to it. And, you know, I just want to be able to continue the legacy of the studio. And that's kind of where it started with Anthem, is just thinking about, you know, what is the evolution of a BioWare game? And we wanted to create a brand new world for people to discover. You know, a whole new world of story and character.
The world in
But we
this
also
looks
wanted to do
really
something that
interesting.
was,
I think
you know, more of a
the
dynamic
art
and
design
living world,
aspects
a
and like
game
the
that would
character,
change
the
every time
art
you came back
department
and
of this
played it.
game
We also
is
wanted to do
probably
something
really
where,
good.
you know,
A lot of games put a lot into their art design, the character design, the world building. That is really interesting. I might be interested in having, if I had all the money in the world, like an art book of this game, seeing all the things they thought of, the concepts, like a Hyrule Historia, but for this game. That sounds interesting. They've got a marketplace, a giant world, but the gameplay itself, if it is just a shooter, some multiplayer shooter,
So a
it's
great
not going to
story
click
for
with
BioWare
me.
is really
If it's a
about
strong
characters that you
story-based
have a
shooter,
connection with,
maybe.
Choices you get to
But
make,
I'm
and
doubtful.
feeling like the
That's
story's
my
about
thoughts.
you. In a lot of multiplayer games, those things
That's my thoughts.
get diluted because you're mixing multiplayer and storytelling into the same areas. Now you can build a solution to that, but you have to really build it into the core of the game. And that's what we've tried to do with Anthem. It's what we call our world, my story. So when you're out in the open world, the world is really
See this?
dangerous.
Yeah, this
You're
is
focused
exactly
on your
what I want to
mission.
see. This is
This
awesome.
is where other players get to
Concept
play with you.
art,
The thing
animated
that's really
concept
interesting
art.
about
Actually, that might
this,
just be the game. If that's the game, that's
unique
pretty good.
for,
Looks
for
like
Anthem
art,
is that this
which is,
is a living
obvious.
shared world. So
That
whether
looks
it's
cool. The
weather
world, I
or,
appreciate.
it's nighttime.
If they use it
what
well,
we're experiencing together. Everyone that's playing Anthem at a moment
kinda
is
doubt they
seeing
will.
the same thing.
art
And this is what we
design and
mean when we
direction
talk about
tends
our
to be
world.
kind of
It's a shared
dumped
world that we
under
all
in most
experience
games.
together.
Yeah, let's see.
But then
Look
when
at
I
all this
finish my
beautiful.
mission,
Actually, it
I
doesn't
come
even look.
back
The
to a
lighting's
base
a bit
at Fort
chunky on it.
Tarsus.
But you know what? I'm not going to be a
And
graphic
this is a single player experience.
guy about it. But
I turn
you just sort of speed past it.
rewards,
I mean, actually,
I talk to some
you
characters,
can't really do much
I
with these kind of
experience the
atmospheres.
choices of my
We'll
acts.
see.
And this is where your story really lives and breathes.
I'm iffy.
And by
Hello,
doing
Dr.
it this
Truter.
way, we're able to combine that
14 bits.
impact
It's a weird
and
number to go with,
agency
but I'll
of a
appreciate
single-player
it.
story with the fun
And
of
Ring of
teaming
the
up
Flamingo,
with
thank you for
friends
the
to
single
play
bit.
co-op in combat.
And we're also designing it so that we can add story for years to come. So one of the first things that we hear when, from our community is they want to continue to play in our worlds. When they've finished Mass Effect or Dragon Age, players want more story. And so we've designed Anthem in a
is
way
cool.
that we can actually
Is it a
add more
spine,
story for
or is it a
years to
building?
come. And it could be anything. A new moment with a character that you've grown to love.
This is really cool.
Or
I freaking love
event in the
concept
world
art.
that deepens the lore.
Give me
or
more.
an
Okay, you
entirely
gave me
new
more.
storyline
It's even
or plot.
animated a little bit. They've like
Well,
cropped
I'm
out the
certainly not gonna
foreground
complain
and
about more story. I don't think
like look
anybody
at
out
that.
there is going
They've
to
animated
either.
the
So Kathleen, I wanted to
ah.
ask you, from a
Animated the
writing
concept,
perspective,
obviously,
since
it's
you
the
are the lead
concept
writer,
art.
can you speak to
Good
what
stuff.
it's like to
Good
create
stuff.
a new world like Anthem from the beginning?
Well, what's really exciting for us, and not just the writers, but all of the devs, the designers, the artists, is that we're creating something new and mysterious for players to discover. So
So
at
it is
the
a
heart
story?
Of the
A strong
premise of
story
Anthem
game?
is a world left unfinished by the gods.
because that.
But the gods left
Actually
behind
looks kind of
their
interesting.
massive tools, and those tools
But the
are in
trailer made it all
constant
shooty
conflict
shooty 'cause
with
that's all
this
the industry
unknowable
cares
force
about.
called
Right, gotcha.
the Anthem of Creation. And the chaos of those things pushing against each other means that the world is constantly being reshaped in new and unpredictable ways.
Yeah, violent storms, mutated creatures, gigantic monsters. It's a dangerous environment that you need to wear a suit of powered armor, a javelin, to be safe in.
Now, something I think a lot of players out there maybe don't stop to think about is just how much work goes into creating a new intellectual property or IP, as we've been saying. Now, you know, we've seen all these different creatures, and Mark, you mentioned the storms. What's the process of creating a game like from scratch?
It looks like Mirror.
Yeah, it's
I
something
don't
we've
know that.
done a few times
But-
at BioWare. You know, and then really the hardest part is
now
getting
comes the
started,
padding.
just kinda
How did
getting
you
off
make
the
this
blank
game?
page.
How hard is it? I
So
was
what
gonna
we
ask
try
these
to do is we
questions
think
before.
about the new experiences that we're trying to
I
unlock
like
for
that I
players.
like the actual
So, like,
presentation
what is
bit.
the
Like
fantasy
they're
fulfillment? What are the
integrating
new things we
concept
actually
art
get to
with
go
how
and
the game
do
looks.
that
That's
are
good.
different from
That's
what you've
like
played before.
playing
So
off what
that's where we
you've
start, and
made.
then
It's
once we
saying
think about
we
those
made
things,
art in a 3D
you know, that's the power
gameable
of creating new
form.
IP, especially for
Good
games,
job,
is
art
that
designers.
You actually
Or
get
just
to
art
build
department.
a whole fictional universe that's meant to bring
Programmers
out a
might have
certain
been part of it.
experience.
They did all the
And then
lighting.
once
There's
we
a
do
lighting
that,
design
then we kind of
art
we
department.
still need to
So
build
much
all the rest
art
of the stuff, and what unlocks us
department sections
creatively
in this
is to
in
think
a game.
about, like,
And I'm
principles
not going to
around
undershadow all
art
of them.
style,
Everyone who
tone,
worked on this
and
kind
even
of
the technology and
design, the
politics
aesthetic,
of our new world.
good job.
And
This
then
looks
from there,
really,
we can
really
actually go
good.
and build out every last detail.
And I really hope
Yeah,
this gets
and
that kind of
one of the unique
appreciation.
challenges for Anthem is that it's a world, an experience that's meant to feel alive, like it's happening right now. And so the world is always changing, whether the storms, seasons, and yeah, it's a really great concept to write for because what it means is it gives us the opportunity to drop into the world almost in real time, a dramatic event that changes the world
yourself.
for everyone. And that could be
Thank you for the 95 bits. It was a surprise, but calm yourself.
All of the moving parts in the
You didn't
dynamic
earn
world
95
sound
bits since
really
you've
cool
been
the way that
gone.
they sound like they're gonna come
You didn't
together.
earn that money
But
anywhere.
Even though there's obviously
You're
a lot
losing
going
it.
on, it really all comes
Be
back to
good to
your
yourself.
character. So let's talk about who we're going to be
my
playing
quality
as
come down a lot? It
and
feels
why
like it
we're
has.
fighting these crazy
Or is that just
beasts.
how it looks?
So
That's just
you
how it
are
looks?
a freelancer,
Or it was becoming HD?
uniquely skilled to pilot these these
Biggie
Javelin
fan,
exosuits.
even more.
And
Hopefully
you need
Anthem
those suits
isn't
to
literally just
survive and
shooty
fight
in
this
gameplay
world,
or
because
shooting.
The world will kill you. But
We'll
on
see.
top of
Thank you for the
that,
10 bits. I
our
am going to get
ancient rivals,
so
the
many
Dominion, have,
salts and vinegars on this.
They've discovered a
I'll
way
even put
they
some
think
ketchup
to
on it.
weaponize the anthem of creation.
That was a
and
bit
so,
too Yodery. I didn't have the
we
gravel
need
in it.
to stop
There we
them
go.
and protect the free people of Tarsus.
If anything, that makes it more Yodery.
Now,
But
I've heard you call this power armor a couple different things. Is it a suit? Is it a javelin? Like, what's the canon term here?
We call them javelins, and there are 4, and they each have unique abilities. There's the Ranger, and then there's the Colossus, the Interceptor,
Nice.
and finally the Storm.
okay.
Yeah, so each javelin gives you a different way to play the game. But the thing to remember is, like Kathleen said, you're not your suit. You are a freelancer, a pilot, which means you can decide which suit you want to use based on your mood, based on the mission you want to engage in,
Well, that's just the same. Even if it is that you are the suit, you just change character.
So really what this allows us to do is we've built the suits to look like they're built from the materials of the world. So they each have their own unique abilities. So let's take a look at the Ranger now. The Ranger is a more generalized suit, able to do a lot of different things, really designed for up close and personal combat, one-on-one.
The Borderlands look is nice. And I mean, I guess it has to have shooting in there somewhere. No. Okay, actually, no, they're showing the weaponry, so I guess it makes sense.
Devastate the battlefield.
I mean, that looked good.
I'm just going to say the Storm looks like it's going to be my favorite. I'm sure you guys out there are picking your faves right now, too. So the javelins look awesome, but we're going to take a couple questions right now. So Casey tweeted, some of you may have seen, asking for people out there to send us your questions. And the first one is going to be from @It'sSweetNicole, who asks, as a player who is all about making their character their own, what kind of customization options will be available in Anthem?
Yeah, so we really want players to express themselves, both through customizing the way their javelin plays, through gear.
They do look
and,
vastly different,
weapons,
which is quite nice.
But also being able to personalize
Because like the Call of
way that it
Duty
looks,
Black Ops
both through paint jobs as
customization
well as
from
changing
years
the
ago that I
actual,
actually played,
geometry
you
of
couldn't
the
really
suit
tell the
itself.
customization
We want
because it was
teams
just
to
on
be
the
able
gun,
to do this
the
as
emblem.
well.
No one really noticed
And
that.
because you're going to be using a javelin for a long period of time, we really want you to be able to make it your own.
I'm glad you brought that up because actually, Jay Legato has a question connected to customization. Monetization. How, when, loot box, cosmetics.
Yeah, so we are going to have some cosmetics and vanity items that you'll be able to purchase, but you're always going to know what you're going to buy before you spend any money on it.
Look at
no
that!
Loot boxes, no ability
Good
to pay for
decisions
power.
right there.
So that means no ability
Woo!
to spend money
I
on
shouldn't have
gameplay
to
advantage
applause
at
for
all.
knowing what I'm going to buy, but
even
I'm
more
going
important than that, We
to.
want to make sure that Anthem is an immersive experience that feels like it's complete from the get-go.
Can
So
you
that
do any
means a main
market stuff?
story,
They're
a big
showing a lot of
open world, and an
marketry
ongoing
stuff. Is that
service
just to
to
show off the
provide
art of it? Are you
new
just going to
content
blast
for a
through it
long
and
period
shoot
of
the whole
time.
thing
New
down
story,
and explode it? Like,
new experiences for everyone.
if I can actually
Well,
walk
glad to
through
hear
that
I can
marketplace
make
like a
my javelin
pacifist, I'd
pink.
love it.
That's really all I wanted to know. I'm
I'm
going
not
to
going
be
to buy
honest.
this game though. It's going to be full
All right,
price and I
Casey,
can't afford it. But
you talked earlier
otherwise,
about this being a
Conceptually,
co-op experience. So
can
can
you
you
do
tell
it?
me a little bit about how the team gameplay in Anthem is going to work?
Yeah, it really is about the fun of teaming up as a team of superheroes and working together. So you want to get a few people together of different classes. So I think here we're going to see the Colossus, just hammering people on the ground in gameplay. If we can have a look at that. So heavy artillery, being really strong, in melee combat. And then here you've got the Ranger shooting down from above. And then they're using combos and special abilities and stuff like that. But what I love is you don't just run around, you're swimming and flying
nice.
So it's interesting because
Always wanted to go
as
scuba diving.
Space
It's on my
Jones
bucket
wants
list.
to
Probably
know,
the number
how
one thing
will
on my
you
bucket list. 'Cause
balance
it's just a
multiplayer
giant
with
3D
single-player
world you can
storytelling?
explore.
So Anthem's really built
So
around
doing it in a video
trying
game,
to
close
combine
enough.
the impact of having your own personal story with the fun of
Okay.
playing with other players.
Your own
but we really
personal
want to make
story.
sure
Nah,
that,
might be empty
that
words.
playing with other people feels like
But you
a
can
choice.
walk.
So
You
for
can
people that
stop.
wanna just
Look at
experience
that.
the
It's not
story,
Call of Duty. You
you're
can
gonna be
do
able to that.
nothing.
Now, going out into an open world
Okay,
like
until
this,
they push you
by
out.
yourself is going to be a little bit more challenging than if the team of 4 people. And we've really tried to
How
balance
does
the
the
co-op
suits instantly
experience
make you
to be
taller?
fun,
I guess
even
maybe
for
you're
people that
stepping
don't
on like a
normally
little
engage in this kind
pedestal,
of
but
thing.
even
So I
still,
really
wouldn't you
hope
lose balance?
that everyone at least gives co-op a try.
Maybe you have.
Okay, that's
training
good
it,
to
I
know.
guess.
If you want to roll solo, you can, but it's just going to be a little bit more difficult. Well, I know you all are on the edges of your seats. How about we show a little
See you later.
gameplay?
I was not ever here.
Yeah? You guys want
All
that?
right.
All right.
Let's
so,
make a bet.
I think you're gonna
A
set this up
bitless
for us?
bet. You don't have to
will.
put bits
So,
in. But
You and your friends
let's
have
count how many
decided to play
seconds
a
we've got
mission
guns
called
shooting.
Scars and
I'm going to
Villainy.
put on a
Scars
timer,
have put
alright?
together an
I'm afraid you
acid-based
can't see it on
weapons.
stream
You
because I
gotta
haven't
take
got
them
face
out.
cam and I'm doing it on my
So
phone.
you start in
But
the Strider, which
when
is
they
like
show
a
the
giant
gameplay,
walker, and it's your
I will
forward
pause
base
it
of
every time the
operations.
guns
You
stop
have a
shooting.
conversation
If
with
it is a
your
walkie
crew,
one, I'll be
Halleck,
impressed.
Faye, and Owen,
Let's
and
see
you'll
how
hear Owen. He's gonna
emasculated this
talk us
trailer
through the
has
mission
become.
As we,
Yeah?
as
I'm
we
up for that.
experience it here. And yeah, then
It's
you
probably
just
the
get into
final
your
thing they're
Javelin
gonna show.
suit And you head out
So let's
with
see
your
what
friends.
they've got.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark,
waiting
Casey,
for it.
Kathleen, for talking to me about Anthem today. We're going to go ahead and roll the gameplay
Cool,
now.
I can do
Enjoy,
that.
everybody.
Working out the physics. Right. And started. Oh! Actually, there's none yet. I'm impressed. This looks like Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's mechanic. And it also looks like
Freelancer,
the Breath of the Wild rival.
Faye said these bastards made some kind of acid.
Okay, you know what?
So,
I give it the benefit of the doubt.
where they're making this garbage?
When they say gameplay trailer, I think all guns. But then again, maybe it's just introducing us to it. How are you supposed to see through that? There was no visor. And that was just lights. Oh well. Like, it's cool, the Iron Man effect. And he's not shooting. Huzzah! Good! I'm impressed. You're gonna give us a camera effect by going through the slate? You are! Or maybe that was the
Owen?
shooting.
What's the plan here?
Picking up loads of scars nearby. Take a look around the
You
area.
don't have to
but,
shoot down the
be
nature.
careful.
This actually looks quite nice. My mind has been changed. And the gunshots start. One away, one away, one away, one away. Alright. Nope, they're still going. They just changed character. We want the explosions. Of course we do.
Right.
They can somehow fly
Checking
through
out
them.
the Scar Camp some more.
We're at 10 seconds. It says 11 on my timer, but let's go with 10.
Weapons! Oh, and the turrets! Better move quickly.
Xenoblade Chronicles X, I will admit, was a bit dry. I played a few hours and didn't get very much farther, but gunshots, 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 gunshots. Mizzle, 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 mizzle. 600. Okay. 17 seconds. Yeah, sure. We'll go with 17 seconds. Scuba diving. This looks pretty cool. This looks really cool. Big ups to the art designers on this. My lord. No big oofs here. Thank you for the bits, Mr. Dude. It's Schnoodle with another 4. What's your favorite type of cheese? Mature. Mostly grated, though. I love cheese. I put it on everything. Had pasta bake with tons of cheese.
There's a
Great.
shaker relic.
This
Wait,
stream is
something's
slightly
odd.
lacking.
Get a closer look, would you? See those radiant pieces of energy? They're echoes from the Anthem of Creation.
It looks like Tracer's
Loads of
chest
scars
thing.
nearby. Be careful.
Be careful. Okay, the fighting begins. Is it just all flying and shooting? Oh, here's Diva. And sometimes flaming. I'm actually quite impressed so far.
Return
There's
them to the
not-
relic. You've got to silence it fast.
Well, no, I mean, that is all the gameplay so far. It has been flying and shooting. And I mean, it's an action game. I can't get around it, I guess. So I probably shouldn't keep shooting it down for shooting. It is a shooter game, but still. Don't know
It's
if that
got
counts as a
silence.
gunshot.
Disaster averted. Do you think we get a bonus for... Wait, something's happening.
Is that Stephen Merchant or something? Who was that? I like the voice.
What the hell was that?
I think that was whatever laid all the eggs around here. The sound came from below your position. On the plus side, this definitely counts toward hazard pay. There's a trail of this acid gunk leading down. Follow it, and we should find the source.
Okay. I'm liking that the story focus. I'll admit, this game doesn't look half bad. Hopefully the fighting aspect, the action won't get too stale. But I mean, there's a good amount of characters you can play as here. It gives a little bit of variety. What is it, like a 10-hour game? So it probably is quite nice, you know? Alright. We only had 43, 44 seconds of shooting in that. Considering that would look like a 3-minute trailer, 4 minutes maybe.
How cool was
That's
that?
pretty good.
I'm
I
so
approve.
hyped, you guys.
Anthem doesn't look as bad as I
and that
expected
was,
it to.
That was actually just a short version of the full demo that we brought here to LA. So if you want to come by the Anthem Theater here at EA Play, you can check out the game live.